What's up, Wild Nation? Spence here with Running Wild Utah, and I got to thinking, what's the one thing that you can do in the desert in the wintertime that makes the absolute most sense? Let's go snowshoeing. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, now Spence, you live in Utah. Of course it snows. It snows all the time. The reality is I don't live in northern Utah. I live in southern Utah where it's the desert and we rarely get snow. In fact, we just barely got dumped on with more snow than we've gotten in probably the last 5 years put together. So naturally, we got to go snowshoeing.
All alone again tonight, but you don't seem to forget about yourself. Wondering how it could go so wrong, but you didn't call for help. But let me tell you about the trees and the seas, how it's all connected.
You know, the one thing about snowshoeing, it's tough work. Just imagine like hiking, but having about 30 pounds added to the weight of your legs. Or, another way you could look at it, imagine hiking, but you're hiking about shin deep in mud. But I can tell you one thing that's different about hiking in mud versus snowshoeing. You don't get to see this when you're hiking in mud. Like, this is beautiful. I'm out here mostly by myself. There's definitely some people that are off in the distance snowshoeing, and there are more people that are out here sledding. But for the most part, I'm by myself. And one of the things that I love about being out in the wilderness, out in the snow, is I get to do this by myself. And I love it.
Just let it go, go, go. Then you're breathing in. You're breathing out. We're breathing in. We're breathing out.
An important lesson about snowshoeing is you got to remember you're gonna get hot. And it might be absolutely freezing cold outside. Now here, it's not. It's typical southern Utah winter, up in the mountains, cold. Maybe about 35, 34, somewhere around there. But you could be in sub-freezing temperatures and you're gonna start sweating. You gotta remember to dress with layers, dress accordingly, because the last thing you want is to get yourself drenched wet with sweat and then cool off and freeze. So, I'm starting to die here. It's hot. I'm gonna start shedding some layers because I don't want to get hypothermia because I stopped and got cold. All right, that's much better. I was getting so stinking hot. So anyway, I've only been out here for probably 20 minutes tops. I'm already drenched. So just remember, keep that in mind when you're out in the snow and you're snowshoeing, you're doing fun things like this. Make sure that you dress with layers, dress accordingly.
I've never been known for my cautious side. You should know that I'm well aware. I don't want anything left untried. Will you come with me, mon cher? So let us just do my love and not stop to think any of this over. So let us just do my love and see where this road will take us now.
As you can tell, I got hot, even more so. So I took out my big old Sherpa layer, and now we continue the journey. But it's spectacular out here, but I am warm. Remember, layers, just layers.
I've been in your waters, been knocking at your door. I know one thing for sure, I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other, no way in between. I ain't getting any younger, and you will stay forever a dream. just fall. We stay indoors while the lovers roam the streets. And I know it ain't your fault. You just follow the heartbeats. You were truly my lover, but it was over so fast. Just one thing to discover. Oh no, it was never built to last. So throw it on the fire. Let us use the open door. We're at the end of the rainbow. Now, what the hell are we looking for? Well, you just fall in and out of love. Well, you just fall in and out of love. Well, you just fall in and out of love.
And now it's time for the obligatory eating food while you're out in wilderness scene that everybody does. So I'm gonna join in the masses. Let's eat some food. So good. We should do some slow motion eating. As you can tell, it's starting to chill off a little bit. That's what happens when you stop for a moment. You definitely don't want to let your sweaty body cause you to go into a state of hypothermia. So when you start getting cold, make sure you put your jacket back on or your first layer or something. I know that I'm not going to put my Sherpa shirt on because I would just get right back to sweaty because we're about ready to start hiking again. We're about halfway through our trail here. Let's get back to it. You know, a little known secret out in the woods is that these big old ponderosa pines, if you actually smell into the little cracks right here, it smells like butterscotch or vanilla. So let's be tree sniffers. Ah, fantastic. Love the smell of a pondy out on a hike. Nothing brings the smell of deliciousness and home-baked cookies more than a ponderosa pine. Well, here's another one. This one's looking good. Let's give this one a good old sniff. Not as good. Wait, let's. Oh yeah, okay, we just had to find a little bit more of an open spot. So, in case you ever want to be like a tree sniffer, or you think, you know, Spence, you're full of crap. There's no way that you're gonna be able to get me to sniff a tree. I'm telling you, give it a try. Be out there by yourself, I don't care. You will learn that a ponderosa pine smells like butterscotch or vanilla. That's a little taste of goodness delivered right to you. You're welcome. When you come to the big old culvert like this, you know that your hike is about halfway done. Unfortunately, most of the hiking from this point on, it's gonna be way too easy. You don't need your snowshoes. And quite honestly, let's be honest, I didn't really need my snowshoes today, but I just needed something. I needed an excuse to get out and put on the shoes, start walking around in the winter. And instead of driving 2 or 3 hours to get into some deep snow, I drove an hour and brought me to this destination that most people come up here and they just go, they go sledding. They don't really do anything besides snowshoeing or getting out and adventuring. But I'm telling you, if you got an opportunity to get out into nature and you're not doing it, you are missing out. And one thing that I know that you are missing out on this one, right here, right now, is look at the size of this pondy. Right there. That is a tree. And here comes some snow down on top of me. Look at that though. This thing is just craving getting sniffed. So, one for the road, guys. Here we go. There's nothing better. Okay, now that's a lie. There are a lot of things better than sniffing a tree, but I don't know. Have you ever tried smelling an aspen tree? I don't recommend it. They smell like aspen. Ha ha! You know, there's a huge difference in the snowshoes of today than the snowshoes that I had when I lived in Alaska. Those snowshoes were the classic style, traditional. Get your wood, get your animal sinews, wrap it around, strap it around. These snowshoes that I have today, they are a fraction the size, a fraction the weight. They actually keep me up on top of the snow better, and they don't belong in a museum like our old school traditional ones. So these new snowshoes of today are pretty amazing. Well, that was fun. Wasn't a huge hike. It was about 3 miles, just shy of that. I was tracking myself with my Garmin InReach Mini. If you don't have one of these things, I highly, highly recommend that you get one. It'll help your family members feel a little bit more comfortable with you going off and checking out and doing some adventure on a solo run like I did today. So yeah, the GPS unit says just shy of 3 miles. Wasn't hard, and it was a lot of fun, but I've got about an hour-long drive to get back home, and it is starting to get dark outside. So thank you so much for coming along on this little snowshoeing journey. If you don't mind, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so that you can be kept current on our latest and greatest videos as we go and check out this wonderful world that we live in. If you like videos about travel, adventure, and family fun, make sure you hit the subscribe button and join us on each of our adventures. Hit the notification bell so that you never miss an episode. We'll see you on the trail, and remember, get lost in adventure.